Hi guys, Coach Fletch here from Onetrack. We're going to take you through our pre-run activations and drills that we do on the majority of our sessions to help you visualize and understand them a bit more. So the first one we tend to do is a walking butt kick. This is to focus on the hamstrings, these muscles down the backs of the legs that support our knees and our hips. The walking butt kick actually is a bit of a pause, hold and step through. So the heel driving up towards the hip activates the hamstring. Gravity is acting down on the heel, creating a little bit of an added load. And all we're doing is we're on a switch on these hamstring muscles. That pause and hold really helps to engage and feel that squeeze in the backs of the legs. Okay, we normally do this for a couple more seconds, but we're going to move on into our next one now. This one's called the high knee or A-frame. We're going to lift that right knee as high as we can. We're also going to pick the toes up on the lifted leg as well, and we're going to pull back the same elbow with lifting up the opposite hand. We step through and we hold. So elbow pulls back, hand stays high, step through and hold. We obviously will do this traveling forwards, but just for this demonstration purpose, I'm standing still. This helps switch on the hip flexors, these muscles right in the front of the hips, but also starts to teach this positional strength as well. We're switching on the core here with a bit of tension. Muscles in the upper back start to fire up as well to pull that shoulder blade back, and the muscles on the fronts of the shins are now starting to work hard, or harder than they were, to pick the toes up towards the knee. Okay? Couple of variations on that one. We also have the A-frame into heel hike. So we lift that right knee up in the same position, we pop the left heel off the floor, and then we step through. Same idea, pop up and step through. Obviously we do this traveling, so we go from one side to the other one in a walking fashion like this. So we'll go here, push, step through, here, push, step through, here, push, and step through. These are just to switch muscles on, get things working before we require them to do their job. Next one is the reverse lunge. So we're going to step back with the one leg. We want to put as little weight on that back foot as possible. We lower ourselves down slowly, we fire up and stand up strong. You may notice I've got a slight lean forwards. What I'm trying to do is emphasize the hip hinge here rather than the knee bend. I want to get my hip, hamstring and glute to work to pull me to the top. It's not actually a reverse lunge where I'm bringing the knee down to fire up again. I want more hip action here. So from one side to the other one, thinking slow down and fast up. We try and remind you to tense that tummy and to really feel this front leg doing the work on the way up. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Then we normally go into our side steps. So side steps will try and get you to face the shoulder in the direction we want you to travel, and a big push off the outside leg. So that would be our left leg. We normally do it for a couple of seconds, and we always want you to emphasize the tummy. Again, we want to try and stabilize the core and not let the shoulders wobble too much. Then we do the other side. So left shoulder facing the direction you want to travel, right foot does a push away, and we want to try and stabilize the tummy again. Again, we can use the arms here if we want to. So as we're pushing, we can actually use the arms to help build the coordination side of things. The next bit is the false jog. Now the false jog can be done on the spot. This is me doing a false jog. Or it can be moving forwards. Our cues tend to be that you're jogging next to a toddler. Okay, so you're nice and easy here. The idea of the false jog is to work on timing. Okay, I'm building up a rhythm in my head. With this little bit of arm drive, I'm now going to try and lift my right heel up and down towards the hip one time, like so. Same thing on the other side, left side, boom, up and down. And then from one side to the other one, or we may just work on that right leg only. Okay, we can do a couple of steps, a couple of reps back to back, or we can take a nice big break and do singles. Depends on what we want to communicate at the time. We'll usually switch between the sides, and one side can feel quite different to the other one. The next we want to go into is our prance. So we use the false jog as our base, and then we start to lift the knees a little bit. This also can be called dribbling in track and field, but the idea of the prance is we start to engage the hip flexors a bit more, and the lift in the knee helps that happen. What we then do is we'll try and emphasize that one knee to go a little bit higher than the left. Say for example, the right knee like now, I can do a little drive and emphasize it a little bit, or I can do a big drive up towards the chest, which you'll see helps my arms also get involved more as well. That tends to be where we finish. However, we then sometimes add on other drills like the Pogos. Hands will go on the hips. We'll then think about a nice lift up through the heels and hop. The hop helps to get these Achilles tendons bouncing and springy, just like they need to be when we're at faster paces, okay? We'll then add in some bits and pieces with regards to your warm-up and then into the main set. But those are the explainers for the majority of the drills that we'll do. Hopefully that helps you visualize them.